Good morning, 6 minutes after 6 on this Saturday morning, the 15th day of December, 2018. I'm Peter Watts. Welcome to the Alberta Morning News. Thank you for joining us this morning.
The first time I met Peter Watts, I was a junior reporter doing sports for CJ92, and I was up covering stuff, and it was time for the Olympics, and we were getting ready for that. And TSN was new, and this was the big new thing right across the country, right? A sports channel dedicated to sports. So if you were on TSN, you were known across the country.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the early report from SportsDesk for this Sunday, the 12th day of August.
So I met Peter, and you know, there's that guy I see on TV all the time. Super friendly, super kind, super genuine, and helpful. So fast forward now, I come to work at QR, and there's Peter Watts again, and we reconnect, and of course, no surprise, just as nice, just as genuine, and just as friendly as I remembered him 30 years when he was a superstar at TSN. One of the kindest, most genuine people you'd ever meet in the entire world, and he will be missed.
Well, you know, one thing that stands out to me about Peter is just no matter what he was swamped with, no matter what was going on, he was always smiling, always, quick to start up a conversation, ask how the kids were doing, all those kinds of things. And the other thing, too, just as a coworker, no matter how busy he was, if he saw something that he thought would make sense for somebody else, you know, he was always going out of his way to help other people. It's just an amazing coworker.
And I suppose the other memory that stands out concerned the two cartoon characters that were the mascots.
Heidi and Howdy?
Heidi and Howdy.
Yeah.
Because
Peter treated me like I owned this place, that I was the manager, and he was always appointing me the boss of everyone. He would sit and he would make the time of day for you. The man had nothing but time when it came to his coworkers and his friends. And it was an old school way of doing things, and it was an old school way of relating with people. And I already miss him a lot.
not one, not two, not three, but 4 national championships in the sport of curling to be decided over the next week.
One thing about Peter is his dedication to amateur and maybe not the highest of profile sports. I mean, one thing that always stuck out is he spent a lot of time following luge and luge athletes. I mean, for most of us, luge is a few minutes every 4 years watching the Olympics, but he always watched the athletes, their progress, Canada's progress. It was kind of a sign of how dedicated he was and always had time for people in the lower profile events.
Day 3 of the Coda Cup. The Coda Cup, sponsored by the Calgary Olympic Development Association.
I first got to know Peter when I was in politics on the other side of the mic. And I remember him always asking probing, direct questions, but he was the consummate pro. I never had any idea of what his own personal opinion was on politics. And when I came into the media business, back into the media business and radio, if he ever had any doubts about whether I'd be able to pull it off, I never would have known that either. He was always so supportive. One of the things I would remember about him is just brainstorming ideas, and he would even give up some particularly good topic if he thought it might have been a better fit for my show, or we might be able to do a longer interview with it. It's a shock to all of us, and we're really going to miss him.
Peter's one of those guys who is the proverbial good guy in the business. It didn't matter what kind of mood he's in, didn't matter what kind of day he's been having, but he always seemed to say, "How's it going, Joseph?" would be the term he'd always say. He's one of those guys who would literally, as my time as news director, would sit down and before you knew it, an hour of your day was gone. And you'd kind of swear at Peter a little bit because you're sitting there going, I had other things to do. But that'll be something that I wish I could do one more time, is have that 5-minute conversation with Peter, 10-minute, an hour, whatever time he needed. It's always a good time when you're talking to Peter Watts.
On this day in 1944, what became known as the Great Escape took place.
I've been fortunate enough to know Peter Watts for 30 years. And when you think of Peter, all you think of is a true professional, somebody that loved his business, somebody that loved his city, somebody that loved his community and loved sport. And it didn't matter what sport it was. And I guess one of my favorite memories, and this will stay with me for a long, long time, my seat in the press box at McMahon Stadium, since I've been hosting the Calgary Stampeder broadcasts, on the left was always Billy Powers. On the right was always Peter Watts. And when I go to McMahon Stadium next year, I'm going to look to my left, and there'll be the plaque for Billy Powers. I'm going to look to my right, and I'm going to think of Peter Watts.
A lot of people have talked about how Peter really helped them along their way, contributed in all facets of the radio station. But what I'm going to remember most about Peter is the human side of him. The guy who was in our lottery pool, who would come up to me every Wednesday and say that he had fresh 20 that he had just printed this morning, and he was ready to contribute his part to our becoming millionaires.
Pretty nice Sunday, lots of sunshine in the forecast. It'll be a little breezy.
When I came back to the radio business about a dozen years ago, Peter had been here already. He's been with CHQR for 20 years. Consistently, he was ready to do anything that was needed to improve his show, the Alberta Morning News. And he was also very tenacious and determined. If he didn't agree with the approach, he'd say, "No, John, we've got to do it this way." And we'd have this real robust conversation. You learn so much about the kind of approach people can bring to dealing with other individuals. And that was Peter's touch, that he always had this true, genuine, authentic flair to him. And anytime he talked to you, you knew that he was completely invested and engaged. And now, he's not going to be with us, and I'll miss his voice more than most people know.
That's everything for now on the Alberta Morning News. I'm Peter Watts. Thank you for being with us this morning. Go out and make it a safe and happy Sunday.